Welcome to Headstones and Microphones, where we use AI to step into the past through a researched first-person simulation of history's most interesting people. I am your host, Calvin. While we've added some creative storytelling, our goal is to inspire your own study of these fascinating lives. Now, let's meet our guest. I am absolutely honored to be sitting across from a true architect of American music. For those who may somehow not know who you are, who are you?
Hi, Calvin. I'm Hank Williams. Some folks called me the Hillbilly Shakespeare, but I was just a man who tried to put a little bit of my heart and soul into every song I wrote. It's truly wonderful to be here.
It's wonderful to have you. Let's start at the very beginning. When and where were you born?
I came into this world on September 17, 1923. I was born in a little log house in Mount Olive, Alabama. It wasn't much, but it was home.
And what was your given name at birth?
My folks named me Hiram King Williams.
Hiram King. That's a strong name. Is there a story behind your birth name?
You know, my parents actually named me after Hiram the First of Tyre, who was one of the builders of the Temple of Solomon in the Bible. My mother was a very religious woman, so she wanted a name with some biblical weight to it.
That explains the King part too. What was your hometown like growing up?
Mount Olive and Georgiana were small, hard-working southern towns. Life moved a bit slower back then. There was a lot of dust, a lot of pine trees, and plenty of folks just trying to make it through the Great Depression. It was a tough place, but it had a lot of character.
I can imagine. What was your family life like?
It was mostly me and my mother, Lily, and my sister, Irene. My daddy, Alonzo, was a War I vet, but he spent a lot of my childhood in veterans hospitals, so my mama was the backbone of our family. She was a strong woman who played the organ at church and ran boarding houses to keep us fed.
What kind of kid were you?
I was a skinny little thing, always a bit frail because of a back condition I was born with. I was quiet, maybe a bit lonely at times, but I always had my ears open. I was constantly listening to the music around me.
Being a bit frail can be tough on a kid. What were your biggest fears growing up?
Honestly, I think I was scared of not being able to provide or find my place. When you grow up with very little, that hunger stays with you. And my back pain was always a shadow following me, making me wonder if I'd be strong enough to do a real man's job.
Well, you've certainly found your place in music. What did you dream of becoming as a child?
Once I got my hands on a guitar, there wasn't anything else. I wanted to be a singer. I wanted to hear my voice coming out of a radio. I dreamed of the Grand Ole Opry before I even knew exactly what it looked like.
What were some of your favorite activities in school?
To be honest, school and I didn't always see eye to eye. I spent most of my time thinking about music. But I did enjoy anything involving a performance. I won a talent show when I was about 15 by singing a song I wrote called WPA Blues. That felt better than any math lesson.
That's a great start. What was your first job?
Aside from selling peanuts and shining shoes on the streets of Georgiana, my first real job was music. I started the Drifting Cowboys when I was just a teenager. We played for whoever would listen, usually for hat money or a few dollars from a local radio station.
Was there a moment where you realized you were different from everyone else?
It was when I realized I could feel things a little deeper than the other boys. When I heard T-Tot Payne, a wonderful black street performer, play the blues, something clicked. I realized I could take the sadness I felt and turn it into something people could hum along to.
What's a decision that changed everything for you but felt small at the time?
Meeting Fred Rose. At the time, it was just another meeting with a publisher, but Fred became like a father to me. He helped me structure my songs and guided me through the business. Without that partnership, the world might never have heard Move It On Over.
That turned out to be a massive break. Speaking of which, what was your biggest break?
It has to be that night at the Grand Ole Opry in 1949. I sang Lovesick Blues, and the crowd went so wild they made me do 6 encores. I dreamed of that stage my whole life, and suddenly, I was the king of it.
6 encores is legendary. What were your biggest struggles before success?
Poverty was the big one. We moved around a lot, and there were many nights where we didn't know where the next meal was coming from. And of course, trying to get people to take a, quote, hillbilly singer seriously was a mountain to climb.
Did you ever consider quitting?
Never. Even when I was down to my last dime, I knew I had a song in me that needed to come out. Music was the only thing that made sense.
Were there any specific daily habits or routines that you feel are essential to your success?
I was always writing. I'd carry scraps of paper or napkins and jot down lines as they came to me. I believed if you didn't write it down the moment the good Lord gave it to you, it was gone forever.
What job would you have had if fame never happened?
I reckon I might have stayed in the shipyards in Mobile where I worked briefly during the war. Or maybe just stayed a street singer. I wasn't much good for heavy lifting with my back, so it had to be something where I could use my voice.
What was your life like before fame?
It was a lot of long drives in dusty cars, playing in blood buckets, those rough honky-tonks where you had to play behind chicken wire so the bottles wouldn't hit you. It was hard, but it was honest.
How did relationships change after success?
It got complicated. When you have money and fame, everyone wants a piece of you. It put a lot of strain on my marriage with Audrey. We loved each other, but we fought just as hard as we loved.
Did fame bring happiness?
It brought a lot of pride, and it was wonderful to see my mama taken care of. But happiness? That's a slippery thing. Fame brings a lot of noise, and sometimes it makes the quiet moments feel even lonelier.
What was the downside of becoming famous?
The lack of privacy and the pressure to keep performing even when I was in terrible pain. People expect you to be Hank Williams 24 hours a day, and sometimes I just wanted to be Hiram.
What misconceptions did people have about you?
A lot of folks thought I was just a hard-living, hard-drinking character from a song. They didn't see the hours I spent agonizing over a single rhyme or the fact that I was often just a very tired man in a lot of physical pain.
What was your darkest moment?
Probably being fired from the Grand Ole Opry in 1952. That was the place I loved most, and losing that because of my personal struggles. That hurt deep. It felt like I'd let down everyone who ever believed in me.
What past regrets did you carry that you spoke about?
I regretted the way my drinking affected the people I loved. I talked about it in songs like, I'm so lonesome I could cry. I knew I was hurting myself and others, but sometimes the old log train just keeps rolling.
What's something people misunderstood about your life?
People didn't realize how much of my hillbilly music was actually influenced by the blues and gospel. I wasn't just singing country, I was singing life.
Tell me about a time when everything went wrong and how did you handle it?
There was a time when my back pain got so bad, I couldn't even stand up to perform. I had to have surgery, and for a while, I didn't know if I'd ever walk a stage again. I handled it the only way I knew how. I wrote through the pain.
Did fame and fortune change your life?
It changed my clothes and my car, but it didn't change my heart. I still felt like that boy from Alabama, just trying to tell a story.
What personal battles were you fighting privately?
My biggest battle was with spina bifida occulta. It caused me constant, agonizing back pain from the day I was born. Most people just thought I was leaning on the bottle for fun, but often I was just trying to numb the physical pain so I could keep singing for them.
Who had the biggest influence on your life?
My mother, Lily, for her strength, and Rufus T-Tot Payne. He taught me everything I knew about the guitar and how to put soul into a song. I owe him my career.
What was life like in your final years?
It was a bit of a whirlwind. I was traveling a lot, trying to make a comeback, and dealing with a lot of health issues. I was tired, Calvin, just real tired.
What were you working on in your career before you passed away?
I had just recorded I'll Never Get Out of This World Alive. It's funny how titles work out sometimes, isn't it? I was also working on more spiritual music under the name Luke the Drifter.
When and where did you pass away?
It was New Year's Day, 1953. I was in the back of my Cadillac on the way to a show in Canton, Ohio. We were passing through Oak Hill, West Virginia.
What happened?
My heart just finally gave out. Between the strain of the road, the medications for my back, and everything else, it just decided it was time to rest.
What's a random fact about you most people have never heard?
I actually loved to go fishing. It was the only time I felt truly peaceful. Just me, a pole, and the water. No fans, no bright lights, no pain.
What's the craziest rumor ever told about you?
Oh, there were plenty. Some folks said I didn't actually write my songs and that I bought them from a guy in a shack. I can tell you right now, every one of those heartbreaks was mine and mine alone.
What was your most unique habit?
I used to talk to myself quite a bit when I was working out a lyric. I'd pace around and have full-on conversations with the air until the words sat just right.
What was your favorite food?
I loved a good home-cooked Southern meal. Fried chicken, turnip greens, and cornbread. You can't beat it.
Did you have a favorite restaurant?
I mostly liked the small roadside diners. There was a place called Chris's Hot Dogs in Montgomery that I used to frequent. Good, simple food.
What was your favorite book?
I read the Bible more than anything else. It had the best stories and the most powerful language.
Did you have any known rivalries?
Not really rivalries, but there was always a healthy competition at the Opry. We all wanted to be the one who got the most encores.
Tell us a story nobody talks about.
People don't talk much about how I used to help out younger musicians. If I saw a kid with a guitar who looked hungry, I'd slip him a few dollars or give him a tip on a chord. I never forgot what it was like to be that kid.
What's your funniest behind-the-scenes moment?
One time, the Drifting Cowboys and I were traveling and our car broke down. We ended up hitching a ride in a truck full of chickens. By the time we got to the gig, we were covered in feathers. We played the whole show like that, and the audience thought it was a costume.
Did you ever prank someone?
I used to love messing with the band. I'd change the lyrics of a song right in the middle of a live radio broadcast just to see if they could keep up. They usually did, but the look on their faces was priceless.
What was the most outlandish purchase you made?
Probably my custom nudie suits. They were covered in rhinestones and musical notes. They cost a fortune, but boy, did they sparkle under those stage lights.
What advice would you give people chasing success?
Be honest. If you're going to sing a song or tell a story, make sure you felt it first. People can smell a phony a mile away. And don't ever let the world change the part of you that started it all in the first place.
That is wonderful advice. Hank, do you have any closing remarks about the interview or the stories you shared that you would like to share with the listeners before signing off?
I just want to say thank you for listening to my stories. It's a real treat to know that people still care about these old songs. Life can be hard, and it can be lonesome, but as long as there's a song to sing, you're never truly alone. Thank you for having me, Calvin. It's been a real pleasure.
Hank, thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute thrill to hear your story in your own words. From the log cabin in Alabama to the rhinestones of the Opry, you truly are a legend. And that wraps up another conversation from Beyond the Grave. Thanks for joining us on the Headstones and Microphones podcast. Remember, legends may die, but their stories never do. Please help spread the word by sharing and following the pod.